Pax Jolie-Pitt has spent 2 decades under the spotlight, living in the shadow of his famous parents. But now, at 20, he's stepping into the limelight himself and setting the record straight. Get ready as Pax reveals the secrets of some long-standing rumors, dives into intriguing family secrets, and opens up about his relationship with Brad Pitt. Watch until the end to find out what he says. It's bound to leave you speechless. Early life. Pax's life story is nothing short of extraordinary, filled with challenges from the very beginning. He was born in Vietnam to Pham Thu Dung, who battled a heroin addiction, making it impossible for her to care for him. At just 2 days old, Pax was diagnosed with a liver issue, which only added to the difficulties. Unable to provide the care her son needed due to her addiction and his health, his mother eventually abandoned him. This marked a heartbreaking chapter in Pax's life. At this critical point, Pax was placed in the Tam Bin Orphan Center, located in Ho Chi Minh City. The orphanage, run by volunteers, offered basic care for abandoned children, but resources were limited. The children, including Pax, faced numerous challenges, often dealing with health issues and a lack of individual attention. It was far from an ideal environment for a child to thrive in. However, in 2007, Pax's world changed dramatically when he was adopted by Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, one of Hollywood's most high-profile couples at the time. Angelina Jolie, known for her humanitarian work and role as a UNHCR Goodwill Ambassador, already had experience as an adoptive mother, having adopted her first child, Maddox, from Cambodia in 2002. The couple's request to adopt a healthy child led them to Pax, despite the fact that many children available for adoption in Vietnam at the time were HIV positive or had other health conditions. A nonprofit worker named Heidi Gonzalez played a key role in facilitating Pax's adoption, ensuring that the process went smoothly. Jolie and Pitt's decision to adopt Pax was driven by their desire to provide a loving home for a child who had faced immense hardship. In March 2007, Pax officially became a part of the Jolie-Pitt family, receiving the name Pax Thien. Pax means peace in Latin, and Thien translates to sky in Vietnamese, symbolizing a new, hopeful beginning for the young boy. As Pax joined his new family, he became the younger brother to Maddox, who had already established himself as a protective figure. Pax also gained a large family with siblings Zahara Marley, Shiloh Nouvelle, and twins Knox Leon and Vivienne Marceline. Each sibling had their own unique bond with Pax, with Shiloh, the couple's first biological child, sharing a particularly close relationship with him. Knox and Vivienne, born in France, brought youthful energy into the family, and Zahara, adopted from Ethiopia, was known for her calm maturity. Pax had already endured years of limited freedom at the orphanage. He had spent over 3 years in one small room, sharing a bed with other children. Angelina Jolie recalled how Pax was excited, but also challenged by the transition into his new life. He had gone from a highly restricted existence to a life filled with freedom and opportunities he could have never imagined. Jolie spoke about this change, noting how Pax had no control over his life before, having spent all his time in one place with no personal choices. The change was exhilarating for Pax, but also came with challenges as he adjusted to this new way of living. Jolie described Pax as a wild and spirited child, known for his love of stuffed monkeys. His disdain for paparazzi and occasional rebellious streak showed just how strong-willed he was, likely shaped by his early experiences in Vietnam. In 2011, the Jolie-Pitt family returned to Vietnam, a trip that was both personal and significant. Jolie highlighted how important it was for Pax to stay connected to his heritage, calling it a visit that was due. This trip was far more than a casual family getaway. It was a return to Pax's roots, offering him a chance to embrace his culture while reinforcing the family's commitment to understanding their children's diverse backgrounds. Jolie stressed the importance of cultural education in her children's lives, noting how they all learned about one another's cultures and displayed pride in their unique identities. Film journey. As Pax grew, he developed a passion for the arts, particularly in film production. In 2014, he made a brief appearance in his mother's film, Maleficent. Although his role was minor, it symbolized a personal connection to his mother's work. In 2016, Pax took on a larger role, voicing the character Yu in Kung Fu Panda 3, where Jolie reprised her role as Tigress. This experience allowed Pax to explore voice acting and engage with a project that was meaningful to his family. Pax's involvement in filmmaking expanded further in 2017 with First They Killed My Father, a historical drama directed by Angelina Jolie. Alongside his older brother Maddox, Pax played a crucial role in assisting with the production, adding personal insight and authenticity to the emotionally powerful film. Angelina Jolie has since shared that while her children have been exposed to acting, they're more drawn to the creative processes behind the scenes. In a 2016 interview with BBC Radio 4's Woman's Hour, Jolie revealed, "None of my children want to be actors. They like the process of film from the outside." Jolie's collaborative relationship with her children extends to the film set. In a 2022 interview with People, she mentioned that working with her kids felt natural. Pax's involvement in his mother's films has allowed him to explore his interests in filmmaking, all while maintaining a close family bond and a growing understanding of his own talents. Abuse allegations. In September 2016, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's marriage hit a major breaking point, with a very public unraveling that led Jolie to file for divorce and prompted a high-profile investigation into Pitt's behavior. The drama unfolded under intense media scrutiny, putting their personal lives under a microscope. It all started with an incident on a private jet, returning to the US from Europe. Reports indicated that tensions had already been brewing, primarily due to a disagreement between Pitt and their oldest son, Maddox, who had even opted to take separate transportation to the plane. This tension appeared to spill over into the flight, setting the stage for what would become a much larger crisis. Jolie's complaint included serious accusations against Pitt, alleging that he had grabbed and shaken her, as well as physically abused their children. Jolie claimed Pitt had choked one of the kids and hit another in the face. On September 19, 2016, just days after the flight altercation, Jolie filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. This shocking move added even more fuel to the media frenzy already swirling around their lives. Although the alleged incident on the plane played a part in her decision, there were underlying marital issues that had been simmering for some time. Filing for divorce wasn't just a personal move. It marked a pivotal moment in their legal battles as well. Jolie sought primary custody of their 6 children, sparking a series of legal disputes over custody, property, and the other complicated elements of their shared life. This divorce filing also brought the couple's private lives under public scrutiny, with their parenting practices and relationship dynamics being dissected by the media. In response to Jolie's accusations, both the FBI and the Los Angeles Department of Children and Family Services launched investigations into Pitt's behavior. Jolie's claims of physical and verbal abuse triggered these probes, with the FBI's involvement drawing particular attention since the incident took place on an international flight, which falls under federal jurisdiction. The FBI examined whether Pitt's actions had violated any federal laws, while the Los Angeles DCFS investigated the child abuse claims to ensure the children's safety and well-being. After conducting their investigations, neither agency pressed criminal charges against Pitt. The DCFS found no grounds for legal action regarding child abuse, and the FBI similarly concluded there wasn't enough evidence to pursue federal charges. Although the lack of criminal charges put some of the controversy to rest, it didn't end the legal and personal turmoil between Jolie and Pitt. The media frenzy surrounding their breakup was relentless, with public speculation running wild about the divorce's details and the abuse allegations. This intense spotlight added to the already stressful situation, making it even harder for the family to navigate their private struggles. For both Jolie and Pitt, This turbulent period marked a critical turning point in their relationship and public personas. Their highly publicized split showed just how challenging it is to handle a deeply personal crisis while constantly being watched by the world. The divorce proceedings were drawn out and complicated, involving tough negotiations over child custody and property settlements. Despite the public nature of their breakup, both Jolie and Pitt have aimed to keep their children at the center of their focus, working toward as amicable a resolution as possible in such difficult circumstances. Pax's public denouncement. The highly publicized divorce between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt in 2016 dramatically altered the dynamics within their family, particularly straining Pitt's relationships with his children. Following the incident on a private jet and the subsequent divorce, the bond between Pitt and his kids, especially Maddox and Pax, deteriorated. Maddox, directly involved in the altercation on the plane, experienced a severe rift with his father. Pax Jolie-Pitt, once close to Pitt, found his relationship with his dad irrevocably damaged as well. The divorce and the allegations against Pitt contributed to this growing distance, and it became evident in their interactions and Pax's public expressions. In June 2020, Pax made headlines when he posted a scathing message on his private Instagram account on Father's Day. Though initially shared with a limited audience, the post was eventually leaked to the media, gaining significant attention. Pax's harsh words directed at his father painted a grim picture of their strained relationship. He called Pitt a terrible and despicable person and accused him of showing no empathy toward his younger siblings, even saying that they were terrified of him. Pax's post was an emotional and direct critique of his father, illustrating the depth of the resentment and emotional pain he harbored. The message not only highlighted his personal hurt, but also reflected the broader emotional fallout from the highly publicized divorce. Pax's condemnation of Pitt underscored how the children had been deeply affected by the events surrounding their parents' split. His feelings were not isolated, as the divorce had also impacted his siblings' views of their father. The tensions within the family were exacerbated by the continuous media attention and the complex legal battles that followed the divorce filing. Pax's message was a poignant reminder of how family conflict, when magnified in the public eye, leaves lasting scars on those involved. Adding to the family's turbulent narrative, Shiloh Jolie-Pitt made headlines on her 18th birthday in May when she took legal steps to drop her father's surname, Pitt. Court documents obtained by media outlets revealed that Shiloh sought to legally distance herself from her father's name, a move that was seen as symbolic of the emotional distance she wanted to create between herself and the turmoil associated with her family's history. Sources indicated that her decision to drop Pitt was connected to the abuse allegations and the lasting impact they had on her. Hiring her own lawyer and financing the legal proceedings herself, Shiloh demonstrated a strong sense of independence and determination in reclaiming her identity, free from the weight of her father's legacy. The removal of Pitt from her name went beyond personal preference. It was emblematic of the complicated legacy attached to her family. By shedding her father's surname, Shiloh made a powerful statement about how she wanted to move forward, unburdened by the controversies and painful memories associated with her parents' past. Throughout this period, Angelina Jolie has positioned herself as the primary guardian and protector of her children. From the moment the divorce proceedings began, she portrayed her actions as necessary to safeguard her children from Pitt's behavior, painting him as a problematic figure in their lives. Her legal strategy in pursuing full custody reflected her intent to distance the children from their father and solidify her role as their primary caregiver. This approach also contributed to the strained relationship between Pitt and his children, particularly Maddox and Pax, who grew increasingly alienated from their father. The long-running custody disputes, which have stretched out over several years, have kept the family's wounds open and unresolved. The ongoing legal battles have fueled the emotional struggles experienced by the children, leaving them to navigate the complexities of a high-profile divorce and public scandals. Pax's public denouncement of Pitt is a clear reflection of the lasting emotional impact the divorce has had on the Jolie-Pitt children. Maddox's distancing from Pitt further illustrates the deep rift within the family. Having been directly involved in the jet altercation, Maddox has also pulled away from his father, showing little interest in reconciling. Both Maddox and Pax's estrangement from Pitt highlights the long-lasting emotional consequences of their parents' public and contentious split. The unresolved personal and legal battles have continued to cast a shadow over the family, leaving deep emotional scars that are evident in the children's behavior and public statements. It's clear that the effects of Jolie and Pitt's tumultuous divorce will have lasting repercussions on their family dynamics and the emotional well-being of their children for years to come. Brad Pitt struggles. Despite the increasing distance between Brad Pitt and his children, particularly Pax and Maddox, he remains committed to mending these fractured relationships. The road to reconciliation is undeniably challenging, given the deep emotional rifts and the ongoing legal battles that have marked their family life. This complexity is compounded by the public and private strains that have affected their interactions. While Pax and Maddox's estrangement from Pitt presents significant hurdles, Pitt has not given up hope of repairing these relationships. His efforts are complicated by the profound emotional scars and the legacy of conflict that have characterized the family's recent history. However, he has managed to sustain relatively closer relationships with some of his other children, including Shiloh and the twins, Knox and Vivienne. Shiloh and the twins seem to have a more stable connection with their father, though the dynamics with Pax and Maddox remain strained and complex. The differences in relationships among the children might be attributed to their individual responses to the family's upheaval. Each child has processed the turmoil differently, influencing their interactions with Pitt. Additionally, Pitt's struggles with alcohol have significantly impacted his personal and familial challenges. He has been candid about his battle with addiction, which has further complicated his efforts to rebuild trust and relationships with his children. Pitt's journey toward sobriety began in September 2016, when he committed to attending Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. His dedication to overcoming addiction has been a crucial part of addressing the issues that affected his personal life and relationships. In December 2019, he shared insights into his struggles and recovery in an article for Interview magazine, discussing his experiences with Anthony Hopkins, a fellow actor and recovering alcoholic. Their conversation underscored the difficulties and personal growth achieved through their sobriety journeys. Pitt's openness about his struggles and his support from fellow actors, such as Bradley Cooper, have been instrumental in his recovery. Cooper's encouragement has played a significant role in Pitt's path to sobriety, highlighting the importance of support systems in overcoming addiction. This aspect of Pitt's life has not only been crucial for his personal growth, but has also impacted his efforts to improve his relationships with his children. Reflecting on his past, Pitt has spoken about how fame and the pressures of his career led him to cannabis use in the late 90s. He candidly described how he used marijuana as a means of escaping the intense public scrutiny, saying, "I was hiding out from the celebrity thing. I was smoking way too much dope. I was sitting on the couch and just turning into a donut." This self-assessment reveals how overwhelmed he felt by his rising fame and substance use. Pitt's perspective began to shift after a transformative trip to Morocco, where he was confronted with extreme poverty and suffering. This experience profoundly affected him, prompting a significant reduction in his cannabis use and a renewed focus on his work. The trip served as a wake-up call, leading him to reevaluate his lifestyle and redirect his energy toward more meaningful pursuits. In addition to his substance use, Pitt has faced challenges related to prosopagnosia, or face blindness, a condition that impairs his ability to recognize faces. His 2022 revelation about struggling with this condition highlighted an often unseen aspect of his life, shedding light on how it affects his social interactions and emotional well-being. Prosopagnosia can lead to significant challenges in recognizing familiar faces, contributing to feelings of isolation and discomfort in social settings. Pitt's struggles with face blindness have been a private matter, and while he has not been formally diagnosed, the condition has influenced his interactions and experiences. Despite these challenges, Pitt has continued to navigate his personal and professional life, striving to rebuild his relationships and address the complexities of his public and private struggles. Pax's accidents. Brad Pitt isn't the only member of his family facing considerable challenges. His son, Pax Jolie-Pitt, has recently been in the spotlight due to a series of troubling vehicular incidents that have marked a turbulent period in his young adult life. Pax, who is now 20 years old, has encountered significant difficulties that underscore a complex and challenging phase for him. The first notable incident occurred on May 19th, when Pax was involved in a car accident with his Tesla. He crashed the vehicle into a truck parked outside Red Studios in Hollywood. Security footage from the scene captured the moment of impact, showing the black Tesla colliding with the stationary truck during the late hours of the night. Fortunately, Pax emerged from the accident without any reported injuries, and no other individuals were harmed. The responding police officers did not file a formal report, choosing instead to issue Pax a warning. There was no indication of substance use contributing to the accident, although the precise cause of the collision was not publicly revealed. Following the crash, Pax engaged in an exchange of information with an executive from Red Studios and was subsequently picked up by an unidentified individual. While this incident seemed relatively minor in terms of immediate consequences, it was part of a troubling sequence of events in Pax's life. Less than 3 months after this accident, Pax was involved in a much more severe situation. In early August, Pax suffered a significant head injury in a crash involving his electric bike. The accident required him to be rushed to the hospital, where he was admitted to the ICU due to the severity of his injuries. This more recent accident has raised serious concerns for Pax's well-being, highlighting the potential risks associated with head injuries. The traumatic nature of this incident has led to a lengthy recovery process, with Pax expected to undergo extensive physical therapy and rehabilitation. The seriousness of his injuries underscores the gravity of the situation and the long road to recovery that lies ahead. Despite the ongoing estrangement between Brad Pitt and his children, the actor has reportedly been deeply concerned about Pax's well-being following these accidents. Sources have indicated that Pitt, despite the strained relationship, still cares deeply about Pax. This concern, however, is complicated by the fractured dynamics between Pitt and his children, particularly Pax and Maddox. The complexity of their relationship adds an additional layer of difficulty to any expressions of concern or support from Pitt. Pax's friends have also expressed worry about his behavior following the accidents. Reports suggest that his behavior has been increasingly reckless, with multiple incidents involving e-bikes. This pattern of risky behavior could indicate underlying struggles or emotional distress, possibly related to the pressures of his family situation and the public scrutiny that comes with it. The challenges faced by Pax and his siblings are a reflection of the broader difficulties associated with growing up in the shadow of a high-profile and contentious family situation. The pressures of fame, combined with the emotional toll of their parents' divorce and ongoing legal battles, have created a tumultuous environment for the Jolie-Pitt children. Pax's series of accidents and the resulting health concerns highlight the significant impact these pressures have on his life. As Pax works through his recovery, the support from his family, friends, and potentially professional help will be crucial in helping him find stability and balance. The road to recovery will likely be long and challenging, but with the right support, Pax can hopefully navigate this difficult period and work towards a more stable and positive future.